doing it.
That's
Doing
that.
it. There we are. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Codex Station, comic character of the week. I'm your host tonight, Sal the Slab Guy. Joining me are usual suspects, but we have a special guest star tonight.
Especial.
Our- Another femme fatale tonight, Lizzie D. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to talk all things Selina Kyle.
Yep.
Well, listen, when I picked this character, I said you're going to be very, very excited who I picked, and she was very excited. And then she went to such great lengths to appear on the show that she made Jamie sick. She got him infected somehow.
Totally.
So Jamie
I'm sorry,
had to,
Jamie.
Jamie had to drop
Jamie.
it. You know who Wally Pip is?
Yeah.
Dan, you know who Wally Pip is?
Yeah.
Liz, you might Wally Pip Jamie. And that is the first baseman for the Yankees that had a nice career, and then he missed a game, and a fella named Lou Gehrig stepped in and didn't miss a game for years and years and years.
I wouldn't do that to
Jamie.
Jamie. I promise. I won't. No Wally Pitt Jamie. I am tickled that you guys had me because this is, of course, my favorite character of all time. She's the reason I read comics. And, so yeah, I'm tickled. And plus I felt like I was doing half of it anyway. Cause
hey, Boosh.
You were like, hey, Boosh, you're like, give me some covers. Give me some essential reading. I was like, oh, I could do that. And I was rereading today just to read, because some of them I hadn't read in forever, so it was kind of nice to back in.
Here you thought you were contributing, and the next thing you know, fate intervened, and wham, bam, thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Here you
Boom.
are. Wow.
This is her first podcast. I told her this is her Hulk 180. Yeah. This is her Hulk 180 of podcast.
Hulk 180 of podcast.
Kidding.
Yep.
Kidding.
Wow.
And I get to be with the three greats too, Dan, Gary, and Sal.
Oh, well, thank you.
Wow. I didn't realize your standards were that low, but we'll take it.
Oh.
All right, well, let's get some business out of the way then before we start.
Yep.
All right, I'll go ahead and kick us off. I'm your host tonight, Sal the Slab Guy, coming to you from the Slavatorium, where it's a cool, crisp 39 degrees all times, all year round. When I'm not here on Codex Station, you can always find me on YouTube under Sal's Comic Corner or Instagram as the Slab Guy 77. But this guy over here, catty corner down here, there we are, Dan Kelly Art. Dan, why don't you tell them about you and what you do?
Well, he's coughing. This is what he do. This is what he do. He do pieces like this. He does beautiful art, and when he do it, he can send it into CGC and get this pretty yellow signature series label because he is a CGC recognized artiste. That's right, Dan Kelly. Look at that, Dan Kelly Art. So Dan doesn't always like to talk about himself, but we will do show if you don't want to tell. So
I've already talked to him about Catwoman's.
His Poison Ivy piece he's doing is looking really good.
I loved his Poison Ivy and the Daredevil that you posted on Instagram.
Oh,
today.
yeah. Daredevil was awesome, dude.
Yeah, that was really nice.
The Daredevil I posted yesterday. Today I posted the final inks for the Poison Ivy one. For anyone out there,
I haven't seen that yet. Okay.
The Poison Ivy one is available for purchase. The Daredevil one is already spoken for, is at CGC now. But in honor of us doing Catwoman tonight, I did a Catwoman drawing.
Oh,
very nice. Very nice.
Don't let that too close to Liz.
Still got to do the inks on it, but I will be posting this tomorrow, probably with.
Can't wait to see it.
Either tomorrow or Monday. We'll see when I can get to the place.
I can already feel my wallet getting lighter.
I can get to the Kinkos, but yeah, it'll be soon. So yeah, check me out on Instagram at Dan Kelly Art. And then this guy here, he doesn't have an Instagram because he doesn't.
That way.
You remember the commercial with the woman, with the old lady that has like all the pictures taped to her wall, and says, that's Facebook.
Yeah.
And her friend says, "That's not how this works. That's not how this works at all." And then she pulls her friend's picture down and says, "Unfriended."
Yep.
or the same commercial where she's hitting the candies with the hammer and she says, "I like this Candy Crush game." That's about how this guy is with computers. But
old school, baby.
We still love him anyway. So it's funny that Sal put the meme up on the comic character of the day page, about me keeping track of my comic collection with a notepad where I at least have a spreadsheet I've made. If you ever see him go to a convention, I'll pull out my list of stuff that I need, and it's all alphabetized and typed up and nice. He pulls out note cards that I believe are the same note cards he's had for about 20 years.
Probably more.
This book, 30 years old, baby. 30
you know what that reminds me of?
Oh my God.
Indiana Jones's father with the Grail Diary. That's what that reminds me of.
Yes, absolutely.
This funny, I have the Grail Diary on my shelf right over
I
there.
have a database. I have an access database, and I have a list that I keep on a note on my phone.
So I do have the note cards because they expedite this. So I don't have to go through this all the time. And I don't take this to shows all the time anymore because it's so valuable. So I'll take the note cards, and I do have my CLZ. I do look at that too. But
talking about the Grail Diary.
Yeah, there you go. Old school.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Old school, baby. So
where can they find you, Uncle Gary?
Where can they find me? Well, you can find me right here, baby. Comic Logic or down there. Comic Logic. We're Loudoun County, Virginia's only comic book store. We would love, love, love to see you and make your acquaintance. Well, that's how I met the lovely Liz up there. Went into Comic Logic, and we would love to make your acquaintance. Dan and Sal have been there. We have a nice free comic book day event. Where Diana Lee and Santo will be there. And she has been in the Star Wars movies, martial artist. And I tell you what's maybe the most special? She's Bruce Lee's goddaughter. What more? That is royalty right there. That is martial arts royalty. So come see her, meet her, get a picture, get an autograph. We would love to see you on Free Comic Book Day. So please come make that happen. If you want to see us during the week, though, come see me, our principal owner, Rob Kalin, who might be appearing on this very place very soon, and see Mighty Mike Harbor. You can catch us there every Wednesday morning. Liz comes in on Wednesday mornings too, getting her fix.
I do,
and we're all getting that 4-color ink that we put in here. We pump it right in these blood vessels, and we get the blood pumping and thumping.
7 boxes and counting.
That's what. And you know what? Liz is jacked and packed because she lifts all those comics. You start lifting a single comic, then you lift in a stack, then it's a short box, then it's a long box, and then it's Hulk City, baby. Reading comic books make you strong. Maybe do a few push-ups too. Come see us. Also, lots of love to Comic Character of the Day, founded by our good buddy Archduke Kevy, who's the reason that we are acquainted here because we met on that site. Archduke Kevy has stepped back from the baby he birthed, and right now the person that's burping that baby every day is Mr. Dan Kelly. There, he's adding a Comic Character of the Day. It's been Legion Month now, not today because it's Comic Character of the Day. Every Thursday
for Legion Month.
One more day for Legion Month. That's right. And tomorrow, it's one of my favorites. It's Dawn Star, smoking hot. Mike Grill creation. So I can't wait to post the cover for that. And then Dan always has nice, salacious double entendre random panel of the days usually that I really dig. The guy the other day didn't smell very good. Yep, so that was great.
Well, one of them I posted the Batman one with the
sticky. I know.
That was Chris that sent that to me, and I said, "All right, I'll post it and I'll give you credit." He goes, "No credit needed."
Well, there you go, Chris. Look at Chris being magnanimous. You should have given credit anyway.
I almost did, but then I thought, well, you know what? Maybe there's a reason he doesn't want it.
Well,
I gotta throw this up for Richard one more time.
What's up, Richard? Yep.
There you go. There you go. Richard, you are always on
point.
I appreciate you every time you show up because you're on point. So anyway, come see us there. So very much. And have we introduced the young lady yet?
No, why don't you go ahead and do that?
All right, in Comic Logic, we have a wonderful variety of customers that we love and adore. But near the top of that list is this lady right here, Miss Liz DeMarco. She comes in, she's a joy, she's a ball of effervescent energy each and every time we see her. And sometimes she brings her little companion who is a firecracker, her pup. So it's always a blast to see the two of them stroll in the store. And she is Catwoman crazy, and she loves female characters. She's a great advocate for female characters, and we love that. And I tell you what, she takes recommendations very well, because goodness, I have steered her towards a lot of things like Velvet that are off the beaten path. And
oh my gosh, like 40 books, I think,
I know.
together.
But people always say I help them spend their money. I have helped Liz spend her money. But I tell you what, she's never told me that any direction I sent her was a bad expenditure. So she's very pleased. But I love remembering, and my things will jump out occasionally. I'm like, oh, I didn't tell Liz about that one. And when I can remember a book that has a great female protagonist or a great female character arc in it, I send Liz's way, and she always just sops it up, eats it, loves it, digests it, and always wants to talk about it. So it's a blast. But anyway, one of our very, very favorite and most special customers, Liz DeMarco. Thank you for joining us, Liz.
Yes,
thank you for having me. And to answer Richard, to me, he's an X-Men.
Oh, Liz. It's a good thing you said that after my introduction, because what do you?
Yes, I'm bad, because I totally think he's an X-Men, but he's been both, so
where was he happier, Liz?
Doesn't matter where he's happier.
Where was he happier? Because as an
Avenger, probably
he had a four-way. He had a four-way with chips for a 2-day bender. That never happened in the X-Men. Never got laid.
No, that you do have that. You do have that.
Yes.
But thank you all for having me. I moved here from Washington State a couple years ago, and got back into collecting. I had not collected in years, and I started when I was a kid, and then all through the 90s and through the 2000s and stuff, I wasn't collecting, and found Comic Logic, and y'all basically have come my home away from home. My family teases me on Wednesdays because it's like 10:15. I'm like getting ready to get out the door, it's comic book day. I gotta go. New comic book day. And it's been really great though to find fellow nerds that enjoy the same things and that I do, and being able to learn new, because I was so limited too on what I was reading. And Rob and Gary and Kent and Sal, y'all have spread my mind for comics. I mean, and even with the character of the day, you're pulling out ones that I've like never heard of, and it's like, or these comic characters of the week, and the essential reading, and every week my list gets longer.
I've seen her walk to that counter with a stack.
Yeah.
And she takes out that credit card. And it's
wait! I might. Can you bring up this on by itself, and then bring up this on something else?
That's funny.
But
that's funny.
I've gotten my first slabs, and thanks to Sal, I didn't even know what a slab was until I started watching Kodak Station and met Sal, and it's been great, and I'm so tickled to be here, because yes, Catwoman is the reason I read comics.
Is that your favorite character?
Yes, and my dad was a Batman fan, and when I was about 10, so it was about 1978. I was digging through a box in our basement, and found my dad's collections. He had 1 through 10.
Wow.
Of the Batmans from
1 through 10.
If I had those now, I wish that I still had them. But of course, somewhere between 10 and 20, in a move, I think my dad is actually the one who got rid of them because he just, had no idea they would be worth anything. But I read that Batman #1 and fell in love with the cat.
First cat, first Joker too.
First Joker. And it's funny because there was an actual Jeopardy question a few weeks ago, and it was who was the first Batman villain, and it was Joker, Catwoman, or Riddler. And the guy got it wrong because he said Joker. Joker was in that book, but Catwoman was in it first.
Yeah. Very cool.
Joker was in the second half. So, so something about she was such a strong character. And for me, 1978 and, being a kid she was so different from Wonder Woman, who was, my other hero. And as far as comics went. And I was devouring anything I could read. And then when I got out of high school, I kind of, went on life's journey and just didn't get back into it until I was married and had kids, and the 90s rolled around and Jim Ballant and Chuck Dixon started that first run. And that's when I actually found out about the Mindy Newell. I didn't read that until like 95, even though it came out in 89. But I was tickled and been collecting ever since. Slowly.
Very good.
I had a break when I was in Wenatchee because we didn't have a comic shop. And I live in a little tiny town in the mountains, in the Cascade Mountains in Washington State. And I don't like reading online.
Me neither.
It was before they had where you can take just the panel and make it bigger. You can do that now, which is great. But back then, trying to read a comic on a Kindle screen that's this big and, the text was tiny. And I was just, I was kind of, my life was not in a place where I could collect. And
well,
anyway,
still no fun to read on a Kindle. But now you're fully.
Now I'm back to collecting, and I'm slowly working my way to get
part of the
every
sickness
issue that Catwoman has ever been in. That's my goal.
Okay, very good. That's a lot.
So it's a lot. It's a lot. It actually tickled to find out she was in the Action comics in the mid 80s, and she was in her Slinky Green outfit, but she had like a little 4-issue arc in Action Comics that was really kind of cool. So yeah,
very good.
So anyway, she's the reason I read comics. Now, of course, I read a lot more than her now, but yeah, she's always been it.
Very cool. Very good.
Yeah.
Well, again, thank you for joining us. We really appreciate that. Stepping in when Jamie's feeling sick. So, Jamie, we hope you feel better.
Awesome. Yes, feel better, Jamie.
That is so disingenuous, Liz. You got him sick.
I'm definitely going to go with that. I'm definitely going to go with that option.
Oh, yes, you did. But, Jamie, I hope you feel better. I'm sorry that Liz did that to you.
Yeah, I know. But welcome, Liz.
Absolutely.
From Virginia.
That's right.
What's that?
So be careful what mail you open from Virginia. Jamie.
Yeah,
she put the long distance voodoo hoodoo on them.
Dude, right. I was doing the mojo while I was working on the covers. I was like, slow mojo, gotta figure it out.
Yep.
My dog is like at my feet whining. So
that's okay. Don't worry.
I thought I was gonna ask Sal if that was his dog.
Nope.
No, it's mine. He is a Chihuahua service dog, but when I start talking, he gets all like, "Oh, what are you doing? Aren't you talking to me?" Gary's met him, but he's still there. We go.
He comes to the show.
Can you say
there he
is.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
He's just mad that as a dog, he's mad that you're talking about Catwoman.
Yeah.
Exactly. He's like, "What are you doing? Dogs are better."
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, are we ready to kick off this show?
Let's kick the tires and light the fires.
All right, let's go ahead
Absolutely.
and get rid of this ticker for right now. But boom, there we go. Oh, there's Jamie.
Look, Jamie. Oh, 5-0. Jamie.
There he is.
5-0's here.
Jamie, that's very. I know. I'm sorry, Jamie. That's very gracious of you to be nice to the gal that got you sick and put the voodoo on you.
That's right.
I got to run
nice.
to get something to drink. You know, people know that, around me know that I like hard cider, like I like woodchuck. So, Christmas and stuff, like various family members I guess they don't know what to get me. Like,
not comics,
Not.
they'll buy me like, these hard ciders, and someone got me this, and I'm just drinking it now. This 3-pack of this Coyote Hole. It's
what a name!
I don't know if I would be drinking that.
Well, that's the name of the company. It's like orange vanilla hard cider, sangria hard cider, and green apple hard cider.
Kind of sounds good.
They're all just effing disgusting.
I don't want to look at a Coyote Hole, much less drink anything out of it.
Yeah, no. Yeah. Wow.
Wow, who said that?
Wait, who said? Put that back there.
Who said that? We're salad. Wow.
Yeah, they all buy these like.
There might be a resemblance. I'm not hating that.
A little bit. There's a little bit of one. Yeah.
Either Dan Didio or Brad Pitt. One of the.
It's in the chin. It's in the chin with the beard. Yeah.
Beard action. Okay.
Yeah, they buy me these ones, and they're like, "Oh, here's this artisan one, and here's this local craft one." And I'm like, just because I like this one brand of this one drink doesn't mean that I like all of them. So I took one of each one down. I'm like, I'll open them all up and try them. Surely one of these will be good. They're all terrible. So I gotta go.
You know what? Consistency is hard to find in a brand. You have to appreciate that.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and kick this one off. That is true. So how about some groovy bass tones before we kick off this intro?
Absolutely.
All right, folks, we'll see you in about a minute, so stick around.
How did you do that?
It's just the magic of the software.
Look at that.
That was awesome.
Thank you very much. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Codex Station. This is Comic Character of the Week. We take one character, we do that deep dive on that character. We give you must-read stories, badass moments, top covers, and so much more. I'm your host tonight, Sal the Slab Guy. Joining me is, of course, Uncle Gary, the Ric Flair of comics, and the Kelly Art from Instagram himself. And of course, we have a special guest star right there, Lizzie D from Virginia. Because I don't know, I didn't think of a tagline for you, but she is a friend of the station, and she met her at Comic Logic as well. So she's graciously filled in for Jamie because Jamie is not feeling well for us tonight. So
poor Jamie.
One of our Liz is one of our very favorite customers. So wonderful to have her on.
Thank you.
And as you can tell by Gary's action figure and Liz's background there, we're covering Catwoman tonight. So, Dan, why don't you go ahead and kick us off with the intro? Look, David Attell, too. I've been told I look like Billy Joel. That's what I've been told a lot.
Yeah.
I've been told that a lot.
I can see that.
Well, you're the piano man. I get it.
Yeah, that's right.
Play us a song, Mr. Piano Man.
Yeah.
Hey, Sal didn't start the fire.
That's right. It was always burning while with.
All right, so Catwoman's
he's not an innocent man, though.
All right, so Catwoman's first appearance, as Liz was talking about in the pre-show, Batman issue 1 in April 1940, created by Bob Kane and Bill Finger. Her origin has been kind of retconned a couple times, but the one thing that we've been going with for a while has that Selina Kyle became an orphan at a young age after her mother committed suicide and her father drank himself to death. He lived on the streets until she's caught and she's sent to an orphanage and eventually a juvenile detention center. While in the detention center, she discovers that there's an administrator that's embezzling money from it who tries to kill Selina by putting her in a bag and throwing her in a river like she was a cat. But Selina survives. She steals documents proving what the administrator has done and blackmails her with them. And she has her erase all traces of Selina's identity from the city records. All traces of her name, Selina Kyle. She ends up back on the streets in Alleytown in Gotham. She learns how to steal. After struggling to survive on her own, she starts working as a prostitute. After a failed burglary, she decides to lay low by working as a dominatrix for a pimp named Stan, which I think that might be my next band name, a pimp called Stan.
That's great.
Yeah, man, it'd be like a Tribe Called Quest. You just got to say the whole thing. And let's see. So during that time, she continues to work on her skills as a thief. She trains in martial arts and other fighting skills. She eventually goes back out on her own and adopts the persona of Catwoman and becomes a world-renowned cat burglar. And as far as powers, she doesn't have powers. But she's a world-renowned cat burglar. She's an expert martial artist and gymnast. She's highly skilled with a bullwhip, and she's good at breaking into places and stealing stuff.
Very cunning, very canny.
His heart.
Yep.
Super intelligent, not like supernatural intelligent, but yeah, just very intelligent.
Yeah.
Very good.
And adaptable.
Very true. Very true. Awesome. Okay, so let's go ahead and then jump to our first segment, which is scenarios or stuff that works best for this character. And Liz, why don't you go first? Give us a couple of points. What works best for Catwoman?
I think that what works best for her is when she's in that gray area. Like when she's quote unquote being the Robin Hood, stealing from the rich to help out the poor of Alleytown or the East End. When she's keeping Batman on his toes, and when she's in that area where he can't quite be against her, but he can't be for everything that she's doing either. That's when I think she's excelling. And of course, anytime she's planning a heist, that's where she really excels. But yeah, I think that she's one of those characters that walks in that gray, not black, not white, best.
Okay, very good. I'll go next with that because I actually almost had the same thing written down. That gray area where she's, is she a thief? Is she helping out? You don't know. But that leads me to my second point. When she can manipulate people, she works best manipulating both sides of the equation to get what she wants, whether it be a good thing or something
or
for
a
her.
Bad thing.
Right?
Yep.
It doesn't matter, but she works really good at manipulating people. I think she does work well with Batman. I think they made a good combination when they're out, fighting street level thugs or whatever they're doing. I think she works really well with them. And I guess this attributes to the writing. I think their fight sequences or their choreographed fights are very well coordinated. So they're like on the same plane of thinking wise. So that's why I think she really works well with Batman on that. And definitely in that gray area where you don't know what's going to happen next. So Uncle Gary, what do you got? What do you think works best for her?
Absolutely. In the gray area, you and Liz hit it spot on. As far as the Robin Hood thing goes, the little bit of difference is she's not just taken from the rich and given to the poor, there's a few baubles she will keep for herself. And
absolutely.
Rich and given to herself.
That's right.
Yeah.
I really like that aspect up to it, where it's not totally altruistic. You know,
Right.
there's a lot of good there, but you know what? Mama's going to keep some too, and I like
Mama
that.
likes the funner things in life.
Yeah. So I like that she does that. I also love the level of snark that comes with her. You know,
true.
She is a smart ass, and I love it.
Yeah.
I love how she does it, and I love how she knows. She just knows she's got Batman all hot and bothered, and she does that to him and any other man. And how she
when she throws out that, I thought you were the detective here, which she has said more than once.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
So she knows that she throws him off his game, and she loves it. So I love her and Bruce as a couple too. I really do.
Same.
I think that is just a great dynamic, and the fact, like Liz said, it's tough for him to totally commit to her because she's always doing something shady. So you know, but that's what makes a great character, where it's not cut and dried. She is absolutely. She walks down that middle road and she veers to each side. She swerves, baby. So that's what I really love about that character. She's unpredictable. She's cunningly fierce too, and she like listen about the heist. She is a brilliant manipulator and planner, and usually has contingency plans, but will also just wing it and see what happens, because she is, you know, she is resilient, and like a cat, she most usually will land on her feet.
Her feet. Yep.
That's so true. That's so true. All right, Dan, how about you?
I like her best when she's looking out for the people that nobody else is looking out for.
Oh, good point.
Like, you know,
Good,
she's looking out
point.
for the
very good point.
Like for the forgotten people, the ones that even Batman that watches out for, you know, for seemingly everyone.
The strays of Alleytown.
Yeah, and like, you know, even the down in the dredges, down in their luck people that Batman will try and help. Like, he can't be everywhere. He can't help everyone, and she, you know, finds the ones and helps them out herself. Which, you know, I don't want to get too much into detail on it because I'm going to mention it later in badass moments and things. But that's how I like her. But yeah, she is the Robin Hood, where she, you know, will steal from the rich and give to herself.
Yep.
And, she does like shiny objects, and she does. Yeah, Booge, right?
Robin Hood ish. Exactly.
Booge,
ish.
Absolutely.
But was it the Harrow one we saw? Nice long arc that was.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about that later too. Yeah, that was awesome.
Nice. All right.
But yeah, and she seems to seems to have her way with men as well, not just Batman. She seems to have a pretty good way of wrapping them around her finger and getting them to do what she wants.
You know what? She's also a great con artist.
Great
con artist. Yep.
100%. And a master manipulator.
Oh, without
she can hold her own with Riddler, Penguin, Joker. She's when it comes to masterminding or plotting or strategic moves. Stratagem, I think would be the proper term. Anyway,
strategic.
She's right up there, and she can hold her own with bats. So, the most brilliant detective in the DC comics. So, I think that says a lot for just a thief.
Your friend Bat said Zoe Kravitz is the only correct adaptation. I don't know, adolescent Dan with some of the even though we don't have a lot of fondness for the Adam West Batman, adolescent Dan had a fondness for Merriweather.
Well,
Eartha Kitt for me.
I'm going to say Julie Newmar. Julie Newmar for me.
Julie Newmar, that was my dad. My dad loved Julie. I actually got to meet her. So that was pretty cool.
She was in a couple Twilight Zones where she was pretty good too, Julie. And
Yeah,
who did you say?
I never liked Eartha Kitt. Just outside of the Catwoman thing. But yeah, Merriweather and
I have such an issue with how she's been portrayed on screen completely from Batman, the TV show in the 60s, all the way up through Zoe Kravitz. And while I honestly just don't think that they have done her anywhere near justice anywhere. I liked Michelle Pfeiffer's take, but it was so different from her story. They changed so much, and then don't even get me started on the Catwoman movie where she's not even Selina Kyle.
Yeah, that was a
yeah, it was just, I no offense to Halle Berry, but
now what about
it should not bear the name Catwoman.
Now, what about on Batman the Animated Series? I know, cartoons are different.
Adrienne Barbeau was just her voice was so great. And the dynamic was awesome. The only thing I didn't like about the animated series was she's a blonde. That was my only complaint.
Because they did the animated series around the time, between the first and the second Batman movie. So, I think are closer to the second one. So it was like, all right, people know her as a blonde from the movie. So we got to make her blonde with this.
Yeah, but she was just portrayed so well in that series. So yeah, I would say that they did it right on the animated series. Not this new one. I was not impressed with what they did with her on the one that was on Amazon. Last year. But yeah, live action, but not yet. They haven't done it. Like, if I could take pieces of each of them and blend them together, maybe.
So what? I don't know. I kind of liked. I liked Anne Hathaway as Catwoman.
I did too. I kind of liked
it
too.
She is out of all of them. I would put her at the top of the list.
Yeah, I really enjoyed.
Because she
was a thief. Yeah, I love the thief aspect.
She was believable. Yeah. She was believable. And I love the little thing about the pearl necklace, which was straight out of the comics.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
I don't know who.
But she used a gun, and other than briefly in the 90s with Chuck Dixon, guns are not Selina's thing. So that was kind of the only thing that kind of put me off about Anne Hathaway's take.
I like how they
no whip. We had guns instead.
I like how they did her, because Nolan wanted to keep everything grounded. I mean, as much as you can have Batman be grounded, and now we had the head,
the little flip things.
Yeah, would flip it up. It would kind of have the ears, so it wasn't. It wasn't her trying to put on a cat-eared mask, but it echoed what the what it should look like.
Yeah, it was a nice touch. Yeah. It was a nice touch to the fan.
While still keeping it in the realm of believability. Somewhat.
Absolutely.
It's a shame how homely poor Anne Hathaway looked when she leaned forward in that cat suit on the motorcycle.
Yeah.
That was just awful. I mean, it was terrible. I mean, just so unattractive.
Oh yeah. I have to agree with Talking Geek that Kravis had the best story out of all of them. I have to agree with that.
I like that too. Right.
I wasn't a huge fan of Kravitz as Catwoman, but she did have she did have the best.
Except that they changed and made her Falcone's daughter instead of Calabisi's daughter, which really bothered me because they had Sal. No offense to Sal, they had him in the movie, but they didn't go that route. And we'll get into that probably later in the show. But that Calabisi tie has always aided her in dealing with the mob in Gotham.
I think it's it might have echoed in the comics where she thought that she was for a time.
True.
Yes. Falcone.
True.
And we've seen him make changes too. Like, Joker was not Joe Chill, but
Right.
Batman 89, for the sake of, we need
Jack Napier.
we need to condense, things into one narrative, to tell this, you could look at it the way they did that. It was more like, I feel like as long as they stay true to the, it's true to the book without having to be exactly like it. And who knows, they might, you never know that in the second one they could change it and be like, oh, guess what? You're not really that.
They hinted at the end of Penguin, Selina sent her half sister, a note at the end of the Penguin series. So you never know.
All right. Let's keep going here. Let's not digress anymore on the movie stuff. Let's get to our badass moments. And Dan, why don't you go ahead and kick us off with your badass moments?
I will digress as much as I want.
Okay. I'll allow it.
This will be like the Canadian show, Digressy Junior High.
Yeah.
Digression.
Right. So for my 3 moments, one of them, it's just kind of a simple little thing, but it's from Catwoman Volume 3, number 24. She had this girl, Holly, that was kind of her quote-unquote sidekick, and they had been going on this road trip in the storyline while Selina was hunting someone down, and Holly had no idea who it was until finally at the end she finds, and it was Holly's long-lost brother that she hadn't seen in, what was it, like 10 years, 12 years, something like that, and had no idea Holly had no idea where he was, and he didn't know where she was, and Selina found him, tracked him down and found him, and they had the reunion, and it was just, it was just awesome to see her go from city to city, tracking down leads and doing all this just so she could reunite her friend with her long-lost brother.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I gotta watch the Penguin series too, but I don't have HBO Max.
Yeah, I just haven't had time to, but I've heard it's great.
Yeah. My second one is from the recent storyline from Batman Catwoman Gotham War. I'm not going to list the issues because you could probably get it in I'm sure it's in a trade, but it's where she took all the henchmen from all of the other villains and said, you know what, instead of you going out and getting yourselves locked up and hurt and maimed and killed and all this for these psychopaths, you come with me and I'll teach you how to go out and do your own thing. And she took them all in and she set up basically like a cat burglar school. And she taught all of them, this is what you do. This is how you scale a building. This is how you get past this, the security alarms. And this is how you trick them for this. And, taught them all the skills that they would need to go out and be cat burglars on their own, because she, would see a lot of these guys were just, they weren't like necessarily bad guys. They were just, again, she looks out for the people that everyone else forgets. And she would see like a lot of them were like, look, just, I got nowhere else to turn and I got to provide for my family. And then when she did that, violence and crime in Gotham just took a sharp, drastic, plummeted. It took a sharp, drastic downturn because none of these villains had henchmen to work for them anymore. So they couldn't go out and do these elaborate, chaotic schemes and terrorize the public. And the ways that she taught these, all these people to be cat burglars was, like, you're not going after, the everyday man. That's not who you're going to get anything from. She was having them go after the high end rich people that could essentially could afford to lose whatever they were going to steal from. Damn, Sal, you
yeah, this dog cannot make up her mind. She wants to stay.
I was going to say, I need to let mine in. He's screaming. I'm going to be off screen for just about 10 seconds.
Go ahead. It's fine.
We got the gabagool in there.
Yep.
But yeah, so she, when she did all this and crime just dropped, and it put a big schism in the Bat family because Batman was like, no, crime is wrong, all crime is wrong, and some of the his people sided with him, and some of them were like, well, they're only stealing from the rich, and most of them are corrupt anyways, and look how much safer the city is here. And it, and it drove, it led to the big Gotham war there. But, that was pretty badass that she had a creative way to not only drop crime, but to help all these other people.
Yeah.
And then my number one is from Catwoman, Volume 3, Issue 16. Black Mask had run over Slam Bradley with a car and put him in the hospital. He's in serious condition, and had kidnapped Holly, had kidnapped and tortured and killed her brother-in-law, or kidnapped her brother-in-law and her sister, who was his wife, tortured and killed the brother-in-law in front of the wife, even made her watch as he cut out his eyeballs and then fed them to her. It was just brutal, and it was sick, and was going to kill Holly, and said, Selina, you take your sister's place and I'll release him. So she agreed to. And then he goes, oh, yeah, I'm going to kill them. You shouldn't have trusted me. She's like, well, you shouldn't have trusted me. She sets off these explosives that she had hidden all in the building. And then she proceeds to just kick the shit out of him, drop kicks him off a balcony. And he's like hanging, and it's raining, and he's hanging on by a ledge. And he's begging her, like, please help me up, please, come on. And she just looks at him and is like, no, and lets him slip off and fall to his death.
Nice.
So yeah, that was my number one badass moment for her. Because Batman, going through all that, Batman, with people close to him, Batman still would have saved him. Catwoman was like, no, you've gone too far.
Later for you, buddy.
Yep. Yeah. All right, awesome ones. Uncle Gary, why don't you go next?
All right, my badass moments are in Catwoman, When in Rome. Catwoman, When in Rome. Great book. She gets in a cat fight with the cheetah. And she's in a cat fight with the cheetah. And, as we know the power sets here, cheetah is definitely has quite the advantage here. So it's an awesome fight. And there's some cheetah. Badass cheetah. Mm-hmm. So Selina gets in a few shots in, thanking Ted Grant for his training, but then she gets stabbed in the gut by the claws of the cheetah. And just when you think cheetah is going to get her, Selina, in a desperation move, turns the tables on her by taking the cheetah's own tail and strangling her with it.
Oh,
that
awesome.
Was pretty awesome. She's
awesome.
strangling cheetah with her own tail. That is badass. I love that.
That's great.
That was one of my favorites. In Batman the Cat and the Bat, in Batman Catwoman by Tom King, a big tome that we'll see in recommended reading. She's older in life, and she has been with Bruce. They've had a long run together, but when Bruce is no longer around, she had promised him that she would be good, but when he's gone, she decides she's not going to be good anymore, and she's got a grudge to settle, and she confronts the Joker, and she slits his throat and watches him bleed out. Just
nice.
This is a revenge many years in the making. And
she found Joker. That was the ridiculous part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was like retired and living in Florida.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Loved it.
Didn't even look like Joker.
No. But she had evidently she had threatened to do this a long time ago. And she did everything she said she was going to do without mercy, and slit his throat and let him bleed out. So that was pretty badass. And then my other one, so we have badass moments, but this is a little different. This is a bare ass moment.
Oh.
In Batman.
Hello.
And Liz knows where this is going.
Mm-hmm.
She is in her first confrontation with Batgirl, and Batgirl's chasing her, being a pain in the ass. over this notebook that Jim Gordon had. And so Catwoman says, okay, you don't have the guts to follow me here. And she goes to the Gotham Hedonist Club and runs in it and gets naked. And Batgirl has a choice. She can't get through the big beefy bodyguards that are all around unless she gets naked and goes in the club. And we got a naked cat bat fight. So it's not a badass moment. It's a bare-ass moment. So this book, I've got Fabian and McGuire both signed this for me. And McGuire said he did not think they were going to get away with the things that they were going to get away with.
I was going to say, what book is that from? I don't even.
It's a one shot. It's a one shot. It's so good.
No,
it isn't a one shot. It was what,
4 issues series?
Yeah, 4 issues.
Batman Confidential 17 to 21. This is hilarious.
It was awesome.
Yeah, there's Batgirl having to strip, get naked, and I
have it on my shelf.
Yep, it is a great book. Great McGuire art. Fabian the Senza doing the writing on it. And Batman does eventually come in, and he is pissed that he's in the middle of this.
Livid.
Yeah, but right.
Have a good night, Talking Geek.
Talking Geek, thanks for stopping by, buddy.
Thanks, Talking Geek. But yeah, Dan, if you get a chance, this is great. It's funny. It's funny as hell. But the fact that she's like, all right, and she asked Batman when they confront. She goes about Batgirl because she'd never seen her. Is this your girlfriend or your pet? Which is it? And so, hilarity ensues. But the naked fight in the strip club or in the sex club is worth the price of admission, right, Liz?
Yeah,
yep.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
Not a badass moment, a bare-ass moment.
Frederick Wortham
bare-ass moment.
Spinning in his grave.
What'd you say?
I said Frederick Wortham is spinning in his grave.
Well, he could use the ventilation.
All right, Liz, what do you have for badass moments? What's your top 3?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so my top 3. So first is Selina doesn't kill people. So it kind of plays off of what Dan was talking about. So that story with Black Mass starts at issue 16 with Ed Brubaker as a writer, and it goes all the way through the 50s.
Mm-hmm.
So after he has done all this, he's put Slam in the hospital again. He has gone after Holly. He has come back from falling off of the ledge, right? He has come back for vengeance. And for 3 issues, he is just going after everybody in Selina's life. And she confronts him. She finds him after Slam is in the hospital. She's got Holly hidden. Maggie's crazy because the whole torture thing where she had to eat her husband's eyeballs made her go insane. So Maggie's in an insane asylum, and Selina's had enough. And she breaks into Sedonis's Roman's house, and she walks up to him, and he's got a gun and he's shooting, and she's doing her acrobatic thing to dodge the bullets, and she beats the crap out of him again. And she takes the gun and she's holding it right up to his face, and he was like, please, you don't kill people. And she said, you don't know me at all, and blew his head off. It was such a badass moment. Second badass moment is The Cat File, written by Chuck Dixon and drawn by Jim Ballant. And I believe it's issues 6 through 13 in that 90s run, the second run. She falls in love with a diamond. And this diamond is on display at the Gotham Museum, and it's, this world famous diamond, and it's her baby, and she's going to steal it. And they go on and on about how they have the top of the line security, and she of course breaks in and she gets the diamond. And then she finds out that the owners are scamming the public and the insurance company for the worth of this diamond. and they pay for these security clearance for these security upgrades, and keep having to talk to the insurance company. Well, she gets it in her head that she gives it back and then steals it again, and then gives it back and then steals it again, because every time they up the security on the display, she's like, it's my diamond, it's my baby, I'm going to let you take care of it, but I can take it anytime I want. And finally, the insurance company won't cover the diamond anymore, and she drops it back at the museum, and she's like, this is mine, but I'm letting you keep it for me, to display for me. I'll take it back the next time I want it. It's just so Catwoman, how, she's like, oh, I love this and taking it. Oh, but okay, I don't want them to, the poor people that have to pay the insurance premiums, I'm going to give it back. And it just that she gets disgusted with the guys that run the museum. And so she plays this cat and mouse game with them with the diamond. And I just think it's her being a premier cat thief, and it's just her being a badass. Third is leaving Batman at the altar, or I should say on the rooftop.
Yeah.
You have to have read Preludes to a Wedding, which was the little, one in between, there was like a little one-off in
where
between.
It was like Harley and Joker, and
yes, and Joker was upset because he didn't get an invitation to the wedding, and he goes on this killing spree, sitting in this guy's house, waiting for an invitation. And he's insane, and he thinks it's an invitation. It's really just a letter, but they have this epic fight in a church, right? And this is when Joker is explaining to Catwoman that if she marries Bruce, if she marries Batman, that Gotham loses Batman, because if he's happy and he finds true happiness, he can't be the Dark Shadow. He can't be the Bat. He can't be the Dark Knight. He'll lose that edge, and how they all need him to be Batman. Gotham needs Batman. And they're both laying, bleeding out in the broken pews of the church that he thinks that they were going to get married in. And she gets rescued by Batman, and then next issue she leaves him on the rooftop. And I really think that it's a badass moment, because it was like a sacrifice. Like, she sacrificed her relationship with him for the sake of Gotham. And then ironically, it's played on, sorry if you can hear my whining dog on the other side of my door.
Sorry.
It's played on the current run. It's, we're still building off of that in the story that Chip Zdarsky is, been writing today. She, that they're still on a break, but yet they still love each other, and they, they're still kind of dancing around that. I can't be with you, and you be what you need to be for Gotham. And I just think that was just really badass for her to do, to put herself, her wants and desires aside. And that it was Joker that got her to see that, that to me it wasn't Robin, it wasn't Red Hood, it wasn't all these other people who were behind the relationship, but at the same time kind of like, I don't know how this is gonna work, and but it was Joker that really opened her eyes to what was going to happen if they went through with it. And
that's because Joker needs Batman more than Catwoman does.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So those are my 3 badass moments.
I like them. Good
All
job.
right. Very good. Yeah, I like them too. All right. So for mine, I went with a few of them here. You guys actually mentioned 2 of them. One was the wiping out Black Mask. That actually happened in issue number 52.
52, yep.
Yep, that was just crazy. So I have this other one, kind of almost maybe a little bit along the same vein. This is actually Catwoman #1 out of 2001. She beats down a corrupt cop in front of all the other cops. You know, she pummels the absolute shit out of this guy. And Sonny, Miss Laird, glad to see Liz. All right, thank you, Sonny.
Yeah, we know
Thank
what would
you,
happen
Sonny.
to that statue if
Don't
we did
don't
a
let
collection.
yeah don't let Sonny near your action figures or statues. Yeah,
No, do not.
No.
Do not.
No,
That's a no go. That's a no go. Yeah, she beats this guy out, the crap out of this guy in front of all the officers, and just proving a point that she is not to be messed with. So that was one badass moment. Another one that was from a it's like a futuristic.
Stop.
Yeah, stop it. So another one from it was Catwoman Lonely City. This was in the future. She actually
I
this is
love
after
that one too.
yeah, Batman's already dead, and Gotham's even gotten darker. But she pulls off one last job, and it's to save. She's stealing from the this corrupt group of people to save kids in I think it was an orphanage if I remember right. But it's pure Catwoman. She's stealing from just to steal it for the right reasons. So that that defines Catwoman for me. And my last one I have that was not used. Here we go. Beating the Suicide Squad, tricking out or getting away from Amanda Waller.
Yes, I just read that the other day. Oh, it was awesome.
So Sonny is like Sonny is like Kathy Bates in Misery.
Boosh, he hobbles them. Very good, Boosh.
He does.
On point, Boosh. Good job.
Yep. So this was Catwoman 16 through 18 of the New 52. I forgot who wrote this. And hello again, Penny or Luna. Jeez. Yeah. So she double crosses. She manipulates the squad, and she gets out of there without a scratch. So that in itself is pretty badass.
Yeah, I think it's pretty badass that dogs are sabotaging the Catwoman show.
No kidding.
It is pretty funny. Yep, it is pretty funny.
My dog.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sal's dog keeps opening this door. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. One's in, one's out. One's in, one's out.
I like
one thing I do want to say, one badass moment that none of us mentioned, but I do think is badass. She was trained by a member of the JSA.
Yeah.
I mean, that in and of itself to me is badass. The fact that Ted Grant took her under his wing.
Better you than me, Sony.
Taught her to fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
it's so true. That is so true.
Absolutely. But he trained a lot. I love that
he does train a lot. Yeah.
He's trained a lot of the DC heroes. One of my favorite little Ted Grant stories was in the Green Arrow 80th anniversary special, where Dinah had sent Ollie to train with Ted Grant. And he didn't realize that Ted Grant was Wildcat. Wildcat was an old man just whooping his ass. and then at first he goes, "Well, you didn't tell me it was Wildcat."
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny. That was a good one. That was a good one. All right, so let's move on to our next segment then is critiques and criticisms and stuff that we do not like about her. So, Liz, why don't you go ahead and kick us off this? What do you not like about Catwoman?
Not much.
That's okay.
That's fine. That's
fine.
No, I will say that I think that she's too wrapped up in her emotions sometimes. That she'll let her heart guide her rather than her common sense sometimes, not all the time, but especially during that arc with the alley strays, right? And but at the same time, then she's constantly plotting, right? So I think that's to me that's probably the worst. I think she can be your own worst enemy sometimes. Like she can want something and go to get it even if it's not gonna really be gonna benefit her in any way, shape, or form. It's just gonna make her life more difficult, but she'll go do it anyway, just to prove she can sometimes. So those would be my two criticisms.
Okay. Nope, not bad. I like him. Dan, how about you?
Well, one of my criticisms was already listed as a badass moment, and that was her leaving Batman on the rooftop.
Yeah.
I hated that. I mean, it's been
I did
years and years. I mean, not just the Tom King stuff, not just the stuff like the stuff with Hush was when it finally like, all right, like
when she had her heart taken out.
But like finally, like okay, they're together. But I mean, ever since almost since she was introduced, they've been together. Teased that they've been, that would be together, and you always see that in the future they're married. Like how many times have we seen that? Like at some point, they have to do it, and and that was what
they've already done it.
And what'd you say?
They've already done it.
They've already done it.
They've already done it.
And and then now, she leaves him on the rooftop, and I was just like, I hated that, and I hate the whole and it's not just with her, but it's with her and Batman together. Like, I just hate the whole Bat Cat thing. Where they see her, and they see each other, and he just looks at her. Cat, and she looks at him. Bat, like, oh, I get it. Bat and cat, they rhyme. Wow, that's super clever. And it would be fine if it was something that was occasionally done, but like
they do it all the time.
Tom King just beat that to death. It was like every issue, it was like every third page, bat, cat, like to the point where, you know what, it's something that was cute, and now it's just I can't stand seeing it anymore. It's just
run its course.
Yes, it's run its course. It's overplayed. Well, let's move away from from that thing. It's been beaten to death.
Well, it's probably more appropriate though if they're in costume to say that out in public than Bruce and Selina.
Yeah.
Yeah, but just the whole the cutesy nickname thing and just. No.
I kind of agree. I think it's been overplayed as well. It was good. It was good when it was first, I guess, brought out or brought up. But yeah, it's now I can see it. It's been overdone.
Like I said, and for me, it was Tom King that did it, because you go back and read those issues, he just beats it into the ground.
Yeah,
it's a signature.
Yeah,
I personally thought that the back and forth. We met on a boat. No, we met on the street. No, we met on a boat. No, we met on the street, because in her very first run, they met on a street. Yeah. But Batman #1, they met on a boat. So from his perspective, they met on a boat. Yeah, but that got old after a while. Them constantly arguing whether it was a boat or a street.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Uncle Gary, how about you?
I don't like it when she's portrayed as being too good. Every now and then they'll have her be too heroic, or too much on the right side. I need to have that little bit of a larceny in her heart that she's not always going to walk that straight line. So I don't like it when they make her too heroic all the time. I mean, it's great. I do like her as more good than bad, but I like to keep that little bit of that little bit of badness, that she's a little bit of self-serving in her to, because that's what she is by nature. I mean, like, for those of us that own cats, that is the dichotomy. I know that they have had her as the head of crime families and big organizations. I like her better as a solo operative or working with a tight group of people instead of being the head of an organization or a family. I mean, yes, she has the chops to run it, but I just don't like that. I don't dig those stories as much as I do of her against the world. I mean, I like her fighting the man, not her being the man.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I can see that.
Yep. Very true. Very true. And actually, that was one of my points. I don't like her as as the face or the leader of a gang or a group. She could be in it or a part of it, but she's got to be doing her own thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. Dan had it on his badass moments when she brought all those the girls from the jail, and she turned them all into thieves.
That was
crime
more
went
organic,
down and,
though. That I like that.
yeah,
I did like that.
I
That
get
was
this
more
is
organic.
true.
Yeah.
But she was the leader of that.
Yep,
You
she
know,
was.
so
True.
but
True.
that's pretty much the only time I've seen her in that kind of role that I liked it.
I still feel it's different from being a leader of a gang
Like
or
the
or
mob
of a
family.
mob or a mob
family.
family.
Right. That's what I
Right.
didn't really
Like
enjoy.
she did in
was
New
the mob
52.
family. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And with the kids, I don't know. I felt like there was a purpose behind that. Where with the mob family, I feel like there was no purpose to that.
It was just to give her ties to the mob. I mean, it was just kind of weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
So I don't like her when she's in bigger groups. You know, about two people like Harley and Poison Ivy. You know, being the part of that trio. That's good. But anything more than that, I don't like her at. I don't like her being that in it because I feel like it takes away from her being able to be her. You know, because I need her. I like Gary. I need her in that gray area. That's her wheelhouse, and you don't know if she's going to be good or if she's going to be bad. You know,
and that's the beauty is never knowing which way she's going to turn.
Right.
In every issue, you just are never sure.
Right. You know, and she could be fighting along with Batman. You know, kicking some butt with some street level thugs, and all of a sudden she'll see something that'll just make her snap. Like one of the thugs kicking a cat or kicking a kid, she's gonna go. We're gonna kick this guy's ass really bad. You know, that type of situation. You know, but you don't know that until you actually see that. And that's what I like. But I want to make sure she's in that gray area all the time.
So. Well, I'd say one more thing too, though. It's not necessarily a dislike against her as a character, but it's something I know I've mentioned before. It can be a theme with female characters is, you know, and it's comics, you know, it's ridiculous costumes, but you know, what kind of cat burglar who is going to have to evade, you know, laser lights and, you know, and all this stuff is going to have a tail hanging off the back of her costume. I'm so glad that they finally got rid of that.
Got rid of the tail.
It's one thing with Cheetah where the tail is part of her and she can move. Right. Catwoman, it's just a floppy tail that's hanging, you know, back there. And then, you know, the run around in platform shoes and high heels with like her and Wonder Woman and Black Canary, and it's so stupid. How are you running around and all this stuff? Like, you know,
trust me, and no one is running in 5-inch heels for any length of time. Any length of time.
Well, I will counterpoint.
Counterpoint
and say Ginger Rogers. She did everything Fred did.
But her heels
in
were
high
like
heels.
that.
Well, in high heels and backwards. So,
yes, she did, but she did not have heels.
No,
to the
not
height that they put in.
Right.
Yeah, they weren't stilettos. They were dance heels, which is a lot different.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
that is a valid point. That is kind of crazy. And honestly, the proportions. She's running off the Baitlet version, which I loved. You know what? Brings out the 12. How's she running across rooftops and not just falling over all the time? So, but like Black Cat said, it's kind of like ballast.
It acts as a ballast. But I mean, you know, that's, you know, body types, you know, whatever. You want to draw them big boob, big ass, whatever. But just to me, it's the shoe thing has always just been the most ridiculous thing. Like
shoes and the boob window. I don't understand why they need the boob window.
Hey, the boob window. Great. We don't want the boob window to shut.
Yes, the boob window is good.
Well, it depends on the character. Like for Power Girl, it works.
It works.
Yes.
Like,
you know, but Power Girl has had an explanation for it. But,
right.
You know, and again, it goes to some of the costumes. Like you look at you know, some of her early suits, that purple and green suit where she's like has the cape and, you know, and like the
skirt with the slits.
Like, and again, you know, how are you going to be an agile, nimble cat burglar? You know, the skin tight leather suit works because, you know, you're going to have everything form fitting because any loose clothing might might go and set off some kind of, you know, hidden alarm or something.
Richard.
No, I agree. I thought Liz was going with the boob window. She was talking about Power Girl. I was saying, don't close that boob window.
No.
No,
It's
but with Catwoman,
they
Catwoman,
gave
right.
Catwoman a boob
She-
window
she-
with the all in.
She kind of has one. I like the cat suit, and I like it when it's unzipped nice and liberally.
Yeah,
you
I
know?
like the one with
That's-
the big ring.
Right.
I know a lot of people complained about seeing her armpits, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
that's
I thought
kinda weird
that
to
was
me,
I
like,
thought
Yeah,
that
it
was
is
great
weird.
with the zipper, you
Yeah.
know. Well,
Yeah.
the one she has now is kind of weird to me, where it's like the armpits are cut out. Like,
yeah, it's
Yeah.
weird.
that's
Yeah, I
a
agree.
bizarre choice.
I agree. I like the cat suit that she's in. I mean, the Balance suit. This suit's
Although you
Right
talk
there.
about, you have to admit
yep.
the dress it does play.
I mean,
You
it's a
know.
great looking suit, but
And that's a great Jim Aparo cover
you know,
too.
you're-
Yes.
I like this. You know, the suit, like you said, the black one with the zipper. You're the one from the the one from the Ed Brubaker run. I think suits are.
Where it was just a zip up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Darwin Cook.
Mm-hmm. Darwin Cook's art. Yep.
All right, very good. So let's go ahead and jump now to top covers. And since Jamie is out, he still gave me his top covers. We're going to go ahead and take a look at those really
Ooh, let's
quick.
see what he picked.
Let's see if
There you
anyone doubled up.
Oh, I love that
There
one
we
in
go.
the middle.
Yeah, that one in the
Yeah.
middle. That's an art germ piece into that. That's good.
Yeah.
The one on the right is one of the classic Adam Shoes covers. There's that
Yep.
cat suit, liberally unzipped. I love
Yep.
that.
Liberally unzipped.
You
Yeah,
have a copy of that one, and
That
Just let it go
story
wild.
where they did the roller derby with the one with Harley was hilarious too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The,
That
do you
is one
guys-
of my all-time favorites, though. The one in the middle, the Lau cover.
Yeah.
Do you guys know the number that she's holding up in the sign? Do you know what the number is?
No. What is it?
It's the flight number from the airplane from the TV show Lost.
Oh, that's cool. I did not know that. Okay.
So
Very cool.
yeah, if you look up the flight number from the Lost, the plane that crashed on the island, that's what it is.
nice.
Interesting.
cool.
Too cool. Okay.
A
Very
nice
cool.
little Easter egg.
Great choices, Jamie. Great choices.
Very good. All right, Dan, I got you queued up next, so here you go.
All right, well, all the way on the left, Catwoman 55 had to have a Jim Ballant cover in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love how
I almost picked that one.
Yeah, I love how she's got the whip there, and she's got all the cats at her feet with the bat signal behind her that's shining, but it's still got all the cats crawling on it and all there, and it's like
She's got the bat logo on her chest in the shadow too.
it's like she's just standing there like signaling Batman and holding the whip up like she's challenging him to a fight.
Yes.
Or she's saying, "Come get some, Daddy."
Yeah,
that too.
Come on,
That's right.
Daddy.
It's the
Come
rooftop.
to Mama.
It's a rooftop. It's all good.
It's the rooftop. That's right.
It's the rooftop. Come to Mama.
In the middle, it's with Gotham City Siren 7. I love that. It's the great suit. it is, the cat suit that's kind of unzipped a little bit. But I love
Always.
how it's like she's smashing the window with the bullwhip there.
Mm-hmm.
It's fantastic.
That's cat of nine tails.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the Faces of Evil cover all the way on the end, that awesome Alex Ross one. I love how it's
the diamond glowing on her hand is amazing.
yeah, like all the lights coming from that, and then it's just everything else around her is just it's like she's just becoming part of the shadows, except for that that diamond, which is just a gigantic diamond.
Yeah, that's pretty wicked. I think I like that cover the
I
best.
do like. Yeah, I think that one out of the three, that one's my favorite.
Yep. All right, Liz, I got you queued up here, so there you go.
All right. Well,
I love that you put the Aparo in there. It's just
that is just the story in and of itself, because it's a two-parter. This is the second of a two-parter, and in the first one, they're all I love you, and they're trapped in a thread, like these sonic threads that are vibrating in this web, and she's been poisoned, and Catman has stolen the thing that she needs to not be poisoned, to save her life. And Batman saves her, and it's just, this cover to me speaks about their relationship. I mean, it's sexy as hell, right? Mm-hmm. But at the same time, it's, the look on his face, like, he's all beat up, and their costumes are all torn, and I just love the cover, and the story was great too.
And again, I talk about a pair of hands. Look at the power in his hand as he's holding on.
Yes,
just a part.
Yes, you can see all of the muscles. Like, you can tell he's actually holding her up. Yep. The middle one is my Ballant cover, and it's so Selina. This is also a great story. She's going into this abandoned house looking for this treasure, and the two little nobodies that are on either side of her and Robin are hack rats who are also breaking into the same house for the same treasure. And Robin sees the hack rats go into this house, so he's like, what's going on here? And he runs into Catwoman, and they have this, knockdown drag out fight, and she chokes him with the whip, only to find out that there's nothing in the house to steal. So then they're all like, so these three break in, and Robin's like, I don't know, I think I need to take you three in. And Catwoman's like, but we didn't do anything. The house is condemned. There's nothing in it. I think we should all just go our own way. But again, Ballant, I love his version of Catwoman, even if she is top heavy. Yep. And it's just her hair and the way her claws come out of her gloves, and
her grin.
Yes, the grin on her face, but the stunned look on his face, and he's on his knees. She got Robin on his knees. So yeah, I thought it was a really good
the best action he ever had until he met up with
exactly.
Yeah, that's
right?
true.
Yep. And then the last one is I never pronounce his
Bermejo.
No, it's
not Bermejo.
Stefan Savink. Sevic?
Sevic, I think it's. Yeah.
Yes, and it's so hard to tell in this image, but there are tiny little pictures in all of the shadows. And I love his art anyway, but she's in the back of a cop car, and she's got this look on her face like, oh shit, what did I do? And to me also, the fact that the way that the light is hitting her leather, and if you actually look, there is a reflection of the cops in the window reflected in all these different places on her costume. Nice. And it's just, you can spend an hour staring at this cover and see something new in her costume, and it's really kind of badass because she's handcuffed in the back of a cop car. It was a great story as well. It was a kind of like a mini Gotham City Sirens. They Harley and Catwoman were trying to save Poison Ivy, who had been kidnapped, and her natural toxin was being used as a drug to flood the streets of Gotham, and they have to save Poison Ivy. So it was a really great issue, and like I said, I just love the art.
Yep. All right, those are pretty.
So those are my three.
Very good covers. Very good covers. Shit, catnip. That's right. All right, okay. I got you queued up here. Here we go.
All right. Well, let me.
Oh, good choices.
Thank you. Start out with the one on the left. That is from my lovely wife who loves Catwoman, and I get her Catwoman covers, and she likes the ones with cats a lot, but she loves the one on the left because she has an affinity for Paris, and that with the Eiffel Tower in the background there, she loves that cover. So
is that a Lee?
That is a That is a Pablo Villalobos.
Okay. Okay.
So, but it is just gorgeous.
It
And
is, and she's in the purple costume.
absolutely.
Yeah.
But that one had her at Paris. And then Liz, the one that you and I had replicated
Both. Yeah.
was 54, the one in the middle, which is great. Jim Balint. That's what she does. She steals stuff. And just, I love that. Thank you, Booge. I just love that look. She's going to get that jewel. And she's got all those
the way
lasers.
that the whip is wrapped around her ankle.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Just like she's doing the things that people do with the the cloths where they tie them up like that.
Yep.
Yep. I would think Sarah Douglas too. Thanks, Booge. And then the one on the right is Adam Hughes. And I love
that's a nice one.
Love that cover because it's such a great concept cover where she's moving the mirror off the wall to get the safe. And what you don't see because her, the mirror is, she's not completely in the frame of the mirror. You see the shadow behind her that completes, the shape of her head and her arm and all that.
And the grin on her face.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Look, the cleavage doesn't hurt either. But but it's just a great Adam Hughes cover. It's a great concept cover. That's an artist cover. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Where it's a great concept, and you pulled the concept off and made it look so kick-ass. And look, she's doing what she's doing. She's stealing stuff, right? And they even have the hook on the wall, right? I mean, sometimes people might even forget to put the hook on the wall that the mirror was hanging on. But it's just that to me.
Attention to detail.
Yeah, I think that's my favorite. I think that's my favorite Catwoman cover of all.
So wait a minute. There's a safe in that picture. I know.
Yes, you can't. Yeah.
They're probably jewels there, but I'm too busy looking.
I'm too distracted. I'm sorry.
Yeah, especially the top of it. You're talking about the attention to detail, where the shadow of her head. It's not like he just drew the head and had one continuous line. So the shadow is just sitting just a little
bit off.
Right.
Yeah, a little bit off.
He even put a shadow on the hook. There's even a shadow on the hook.
Yes. Yep. But Dan, you're right. The it's not a smooth line. It's offset on her
because
shadow.
That's how it would be in real life too.
Absolutely. So that's just I just always Hughes had a run of I think about 20 covers in a row that he had done for her, and they are all really good. But and a lot of them are really famous, and these are pricey too. These covers are expensive. So I was glad I bought them when they came out and I had them then. But that cover there is the one that always resonated with me. And I think it's just because the concept was so damn cool.
Like you said, it's an artist.
Yeah.
It's definitely a conception. Yeah, I like it.
Love it.
Great choices.
Thank you.
Choices.
Thank you.
All right. Let's go ahead and show mine then. Here we go. All right, so let's go ahead.
There's my number one.
Yeah.
Let's start off with the obvious. Adolescent Sal had a thing for Julie Newmar.
Julie Newmar.
Yep. That was the 80th anniversary, 100-page spectacular. J. Scott Campbell did the artist was this, and the colors was Sabine Rich. So, yep. And then of course, what's that?
Love it.
Yeah, it was such a great cover.
So the middle cover, Catwoman #1. I love this cover. It's by Balint, of course. She's already got the goodies in her hand there. She's got the whip out. The face looks like she's
gritting her teeth, just like her.
Exactly. So I love that. That's
my very first slab.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. A good one to have. That is a good one to have. And my last one there is from Volume 5. This is 18, the B cover, and this is by Chris Anka. So I like how she's just laying on the bat symbol there, like it's all lit up. So sure, Batman's on his way, and she's just kind of like, all right, get here anytime.
I'm just gonna lay here.
I'm just chilling, like a cat that lays on a heater. That's what really reminded me of. My wife's family had a cat that would actually, those little portable radiator heaters. That cat would like stick its paws all the way into it because it wants the heat. So that's where I get. That's what I think when I see this picture. The cat just wanting to curl up on a nice hot lamp.
Nice.
Yes.
But still badass cover. All right.
Absolutely.
Good choices. Love them.
Yep. All right. So
everybody chose excellent.
Yep. Thank you. Good stuff. So before we jump into essential readings, I first got to say about the giveaway. Ladies and gentlemen, Codex Nation is doing a giveaway for this month. It is almost, its deadline is Friday evening, tomorrow night. That's right. And this is for The Thing, Volume 2, 1 through 8, and Superman American Alien 1 through 7. So if you're new to the channel here, do the hashtag giveaway. Show us a screenshot of that you subscribed to any of our socials, and you'll be entered to win. If you are a member, the $1 a month member, you're automatically entered in, so you don't have to worry about that. But put hashtag giveaway in the comments right now if you want to get in on that action. So the drawing will happen on Saturday, and I think Jamie's going to do the drawing, and then he's going to tell me who won, because I know Jamie will not be on Saturday nights. If he's feeling better, they got date night. But if they're not feeling better, they're probably going to be staying at home doing the rest thing. So, anyhow, on with the show. Next up, here's our essential readings for this character. And Liz, you can go first on here. Let me pull up your essential readings, which is right here.
Well, I started out with Mindy Newell's Her Sister's Keeper. It was a 4-issue run that was in 1989. It's where they established her origin really for the first time. She gets her whip. She's Dan talked about it earlier. She's a prostitute. Her pimp beats up her friend Holly, and she ends up throwing him off a building. And then but he has already talked her into wearing a cat suit for a client, and she just takes that cat suit to a new level. And it all takes place during year 1 of Batman, and coincides with the very few actions that she had in the year 1 run in Batman. She's mentioned a handful of times, and the 4 issues kind of coincides with that. She meets him for the first time on the street, as we were talking about earlier, as they always fight whether they met on the boat or on the street. And it's just the art's a little gritty, like it's real. It's got kind of like that noir feel, but it really it's a great place to start with Catwoman for her on her own outside of where she is in Batman. So I highly recommend reading that. Second was Backward Masking, which we talked about in our Badass Moments. This was in the 3rd series. It started out with Ed Brubaker, and her fighting with Black Mask, and Will Pfeiffer took over after issue 37, and he took it into the end of the run, and he had her kill Black Mask. And it was just kind of so unexpected and so out of character. But not only that, the immediate aftermath of that, she has her baby. She has Helena. No, it's not Helena Wayne. Well, we don't really know. They kind of allude that it might be Slam's son's child. It might be Bruce's child. We don't really know. There's a great couple of panels where you see all of the different costumes that she's worn. It was just, it's a wonderful, wonderful arc. Anything actually, I would say, honestly, the whole East End, like literally issue 1 through issue 84 is amazing. But if that's a little too much, I would just recommend the last few issues of the run, which was 50 through 52. And then in 53 is when she has the baby, and it goes into a new arc from there. But it's just really an amazing story where Selina just kind of has had enough of being tormented by Black Mask, and finally just just shoots him in the face.
Yeah.
And then finally is kind of a large series. It's actually 3 volumes here. But it's what Ram V wrote in this current run. It was from 2020 to 2021, issues 25 through 38. Selina is putting the alley town stray cats. She's kind of giving them a home, and she's kind of making herself the quote unquote Duchess of Gotham. She is being pursued by Father Valley, who is an interesting character that they bring out. He has been hired. Yeah, he has been hired by Penguin to murder her, and they kind of play this cat and mouse thing. He like helps her out of a couple of things because he wants to kill her when she's at her like ultimate highest peak of life, because he thinks that will, alleviate her sins. The whole run was just really, really, really good. Ending with this epic fight between the two of them, and obviously she wins, but it takes her through a lot of gray areas, right? She's doing good. She's doing a couple of jobs where she's not doing so good. It wonderful. Although it was really hard because I really liked Teenie Howard's 9 Lives run that she just kind of finished before, she left the title. And I really like that too. But Ram V's, his taking over from Joelle Jones, and in between her and Teenie, he really, really knocked it out of the park. And you learn a little bit about her background as Father Valley is researching her. And he's just such a fascinating character. And you get his backstory. And how he ends up being this assassin for hire, and how she beats all these other assassins who are trying to kill her. It's just awesome reading.
Good stuff.
That's it.
Good choices.
Very good. Very good. All right. Let's see. Oh, I forgot to show Jamie's. Let's show Jamie's then really quick. Here is Jamie's. Recommended Batman 49, Batman 615, and When in Rome.
615 is so good.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Dan, I got yours queued up, ready to go. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
All right, so I'll start off with Catwoman, Selina's big score. It's very much it's like kind of like if Catwoman was in the middle of Ocean's 11.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a class, it's a classic heist movie with Catwoman in the middle of it, and it's just it's just a fun, a fun read to go through. Catwoman Volume 3. It should say 1 through 37. I had sent it wrong to Sal, but yeah, it's Catwoman Volume 3, 1 to 37. No, it's my fault. I sent 38. I should have been 37. It's
Catwoman at East End.
It's all the Ed Brubaker issues.
Yes.
In the run, and it's just
so good.
Just fantastic. He, the stuff that he does, the supporting cast that he really builds up around her with Holly and with Slam, and Batman's there at times, and a lot of the stuff that he builds up there. It's just just a fantastic run. And then Catwoman When in Rome. It's kind of a it's a Jeff Loeb, Tim Sale thing. It's kind of a sequel to Dark Victory, which was itself a sequel to The Long Halloween, and it's her in Rome, and she's got Riddler tagging along, hanging out with her, and Riddler is just so skeevy in this.
Yeah, he is
so skeevy.
And and it's her, investigating, kind of what we mentioned earlier about how she believed that she was that she was this lost daughter from the Falcons, and it ends up turning out turning out at the end that she's not, as far as she's led to believe in this. But and again, it's got some really cool heist, just excuse me, some heist stuff in it, and stealing this this ring that supposedly would the person that wears it would be in control of all the crime families, and and there's a great thing where Riddler thinks he steals it from her, and he takes the ring out of the box, and there's this gas that comes out, and it's just a really good read. If you're a fan of the Jeff Loeb, Tim Sale stuff, especially Long Halloween and Dark Victory, then you'll like this.
Yeah, it's not. You don't have to read it to enjoy.
No, you don't.
Long Halloween and Dark Victory, but it's adjacent to it, and it's a wonderful addition.
Yeah, you don't have to have read them. Like, it makes brief mention of those stories that basically saying like, all right, I was there when this was going on, and now I'm here. So so you don't have to have read them. It does stand on its own.
It's adjacent to them.
Yeah.
But it's great. I have the same book, so great choice.
Okay.
So, yep.
Very good. All right, Gary, let's get yours up there. And why is it not going? There we go.
There we go. See, there's the other great one of the other great Adam Hughes covers. Good choice. Yep.
I knew you enjoyed that one.
I do enjoy that. I just want to pull that ring down a little further. Yep. Boosh, When in Rome, like Dan said, it is a great book. And if you really loved Long Halloween and Dark Victory, it's a nice little treat to be able to read something else by those two guys that was just fantastic.
Absolutely.
And there's a couple spots.
I like Tim Sale's take on Catwoman as well. I like the way he drew her.
There's a couple spots in that book where he draws her very, very sexy.
Oh, absolutely. And the Riddler. It said the Riddler is very skeevy in that.
Yes.
Skeezy.
Yes, he is. Oh my God. And then speaking of skeezy, the Batman, the Cat and the Bat, which is from Batman Confidential, 17 to 21. Liz is laughing because she knows. Just a great.
We talked about this earlier. Yeah.
Yeah. Great cat fight with a Batgirl, and the whole issue where they're running through the sex club buck naked, except for their masks on, is just fantastic. So it's just great. And then of course when Batman gets there, the fireworks flying between the three of them, and he's not happy to be babysitting the two of them. So it's just a great read. And you know what? It's a fun Catwoman story, but it's a really great Batgirl story.
I actually thought it was a fabulous Batgirl story.
Yeah, it's probably more of a Batgirl story, but I had to include it in here because it's just.
It's
it's integral to it, but it's a really great kind of a coming of age Batgirl story, coming of age as a hero, because she's new to the hero game and she's taking on somebody in the big leagues. And
is this your new pet?
Is this your new pet? And at first Selina's totally dismissive of her. She figures she's just going to run away from her, but she keeps up with her, and so then it becomes a little more competitive, and it's just it's really good. And to see them jab at each other verbally and physically is just great. And then like I said, when Batman gets there, it adds another dimension to the whole ordeal. So a lot of fun. That's what that book is, right, Liz? It's fun
from opening to end. Yes,
fun. So Batman Confidential, 17 to 21, or get the trade paperback, and it's a blast. The other one,
nobody draws facial expressions like Adam Hughes.
Yeah. Well, this one, it's McGuire on the inside.
McGuire. I'm sorry. Kevin McGuire.
Yeah.
Nobody draws facial expressions like Kevin McGuire.
And they're playing. Look, the disgust on Batman's face. The disgust on Batman's face is just great in this. So anyway, you're right. McGuire's facial expressions are great. The other one is the Batman Catwoman I have the deluxe hardback that's got a couple extra goodies, but it's the Tom King.
Yeah, I have the same one.
It's the Tom King book, and it was a 12-issue maxi series. I think it's fantastic. It's not canon, or I'm not going to assume it's canon because
it was Black Label.
Yes,
so,
Black Label.
Yeah.
So it's Bruce and Selina had a long life together, and Bruce is no longer with us, and Selina, and there's a lot of flashbacks, and then, as we mentioned before, she dispatches the Joker, and their daughter is the new Batwoman, and she might have to bring her mother to justice. So if her mother's the one that killed the Joker, and I think we've already established, yes, she did it. So, and that's established early on. You see that.
Yeah.
So that's not a mystery. But there's a lot of nuance to this.
Oh,
and
it's lot of
stuff. And I like Tom King best when he is not writing canon, when he is able to tell a story that does not have to match up with whatever the current continuity is, when he can just have a free form way to tell a self-standing story. And that's what he's able to do here. And I think it's a magnificent story. I love it. It's nuanced, it's deep, it's got a lot of emotion.
Romantic.
It is romantic. It's romantic, it's sad and tragic, and yet there's so much love in it between those characters. And then there's the mother-daughter dynamic. You also have Dick Grayson in this.
Barbara.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Barbara. And there's another former love of Batman that plays in this. Yep. Oh, yeah. So it's a very complex story.
Isn't it Andrea? Yeah.
Yes, it is. It's Andrea. Fantastic. Yeah. So there's a lot of nuance to this.
Yeah, a lot of nuance.
This isn't a book.
Great choice.
Thank you. This isn't a book just to flip through and look at the pictures. You really need to read and absorb this book. I think it's fantastic. So that's my recommendation. And if you get the deluxe hardback, you get a couple other goodies in there too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Thank
you.
Good choices, Gary. Good choices.
Very
all right.
Good choices.
Here, let's pull up my readings now. There I am. Boom. All right, so let's go ahead and start off with that first one, The Dark End of the Street. Detect 759, 762, and Catwoman 1 through 4. So when I read through this, I felt like this was a good turning point for Catwoman, redefining herself as a protector of the weak rather than just a self-serve thief. I know that's more to the good side of things, but I really liked that because it really felt like it gave her a little bit more depth. And of course, it's the noir-inspired detective story. It's by Brubaker, right? He does a good noir-inspired detective story. And
he does.
There's a lot of gritty street level heroism in this as well. I mean, it was I almost feel like this gets a lot of credit for making her more grounded in a more mature direction. And
I agree.
She's more than just a femme fatale or Batman's love interest in it, So that's how I really like that story. So, I don't really have anything else to add to that one. So let's go on to the next one. It's Catwoman Volume 2, Crooked Little Town, also by Brubaker. So again, we got that noir style, crime thriller vibe to it as well. But in this one, she actually struggles between being a thief, a protector, and a vigilante. So while the other one really defined her, image of being, a protector, this one kind of goes back and says, now she's kind of struggling between the three, which I kind of liked. So this gave her a much more layered protagonist rather than just a femme fatale, I think, in this one. Of course, written by Brubaker. Awesome stuff. The last one I have is Catwoman Volume 8, Crime Pays. This is Catwoman 2002, 78 to 82.
It's Will Pfeiffer, right?
Yeah. Will Pfeiffer was the writer on this one. Lopez and David Lopez and Alvaro Lopez were the artists on this particular series. This is where I feel like the past has come back to the haunter type situation, and
Yeah.
she grapples with the fact that is she always destined to be a criminal, that type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
She faces the consequences of choices, especially regarding her daughter and the people that she cares about. So it's a good story. There's a lot of good impact in this one. It's action packed. It, you know, I felt like it was, easy, like fast paced and action packed. I like that part about it. Some people thought it had lack of depth. I didn't really feel that way, but there was a weaker supporting cast, of course, but that didn't bother me too much. But overall, I think it's fun. It's an action driven Catwoman story. It shows her element as a thief. It's I think it was really good for storytelling with her, and it's just enjoyable all around.
I think those were the last issues of that run too.
It was,
so
yes.
too, yes.
Yep.
All right. There we go.
Good job. I like it.
Yep. It was a lot. It was a lot to power read through there. Yep. So I was like taking notes furiously when I was reading through those stories because I liked those really a lot. All right.
The Catwoman at East End, the whole from 1 through 84 were just
amazing.
Amazing.
I totally agree. All right, now for our next segment of the night, we're going to go with best author and artist for Catwoman. They don't necessarily have to be on the same book. They could be from different eras, different times. But I'll go first on this one. And let me see my notes again. There we go. Artist, Jim Balent. I went with that Volume 2 era. Gotta love it. I love the purple suit.
And the curves.
In the curves.
In the curves.
Yes.
The
okay.
Hair.
Yes. We're gonna go with that.
And the hair.
Yeah.
Right. The hair.
The hair.
The hair was amazing as well.
I cried when they cut her hair. They cut her hair in 2001 ish, and she went in that black corset.
Yep.
It was a sexy outfit, but it just wasn't the same.
Was not the same. I totally agree. All right. So for my writer, I went with Brubaker.
Look at the hair.
Stuff.
The hair.
Look at the hair. I'm not really looking at the hair on that right there.
Quit looking at her butt. Yeah.
All right.
You say Brubaker? Is your right?
Yeah, Brubaker is my writer.
There. Can't go wrong there.
No, you really can't.
Nope. All right, Uncle Gary, who do you got?
Okay, so on this, I'm also picking Jim Balent, and one reason is, I do want to give a lot of love to like the way Aparo drew her. I want to give a lot of love to the way Adam Hughes drew her. I mean, those covers are phenomenal, and Jim Lee, his interior and covers. But I want to give it to Balent just because he was doing great covers and he was doing the interiors, and for a long run. So I think that needs to be rewarded and acknowledged. So that's why Balent
He went into the 70s before he stopped doing
absolutely.
it. Yeah.
Right. He had an incredibly long run on that book. So I think that deserves to be recognized. And the writer, Sal, I like the choice of Brubaker a lot, but because I figured he was going to be said, I wanted to shine a light on Dixon. Because
Chuck Dixon
did a really great job on that Balent run, and he had for a while too. And this was the first, I think attention must be paid to quote Death of a Salesman. Attention must be paid to the fact that this was the first ongoing Catwoman series, and it stayed, and it had longevity, it had legs. I mean, the other
84 issues. 94 issues.
Yes,
94 issues.
So this had legs.
Every single one of them.
And
nice.
Same with me, darling. Good, I know you love that character. And it's because of the foundation and how Balent and Dixon made this such a fun read, made it interesting and made it fun. But as a technician and technical stories, and I think Brubaker really hit it out of the park. But I just wanted to really acknowledge Dixon and him laying that foundation that this character could carry her own title for a long time. So
Jim Balent talks about I follow him on Instagram, and he talks about how Chuck would just send him notes, and then he would draw, and then get Chuck's opinion and how they work together on these issues, and it was really a amazing collaborative effort.
I think so too. And we don't talk about Dixon enough. He did one of my favorite series that we'll never talk about called Airboy. I loved his Airboy work. It was 50 issues for Eclipse in the early 80s, and that Airboy series was fantastic. But Dixon, great. He did a lot of great Nightwing issues too. So
he did some Hitman issues too.
He did some, though Garth Ennis, did the vast majority of Hitman.
Yes,
because it was Ennis's baby. But good stuff. So Dixon and Balint for me.
Okay, very good. Dan, how about you?
I'm just gonna mirror you. I had Brubaker for my writer. I just, which is probably evident from my recommended readings, where I just recommended his entire run.
Yep.
All of it's just fantastic, and the way he built the supporting cast up too, and and what he did with their character. And then I also had to go with Jim Balint as the artist. Just when that book came out, that cover was so striking on the rack, and then just no pun intended.
The rack, yeah, I saw what you did there.
And
that rack,
but like
his on the rack.
His art at the time, and it was the 90s, and that's what was popular. But you go back and you look at a lot of that 90s art, and it doesn't hold up. It's the abnormally long legs and the giant butts and the giant breasts, and the way the women are always standing there, and the way they're posed, where it's like their ass is sticking out and like their chest is sticking out, and it's just like, how can anybody possibly stand that way for more than a couple seconds? And the big hair, and like a lot of it doesn't hold up, but his stuff really does hold up.
I agree.
And it was so popular at the time that it really, to me, defined the look of the character.
It was a fun read too.
Mm-hmm. Very true.
Fun stuff. Yep.
All right, Liz, guest of honor. You have the honor of being last for your favorite artist and author.
It is so hard for me.
Yes, you did, Boosh.
To narrow it, because for each artist, I mean, like, part of me wants to just go with all three of you and Jim Balint, but for the writer, while I loved Brubaker and Ram and Joelle, it would be a tie between Tom King and Joelle Jones. Not Joelle Jones, Teenie Howard for me. Okay. It's a tie. I really love how Teenie brought her into the 21st century. You know what I mean? And in her run, she became more than just the thief who Batman. She did that with Chuck. Chuck and Jim did that too in their run, but there are still some cliches of the 90s and the 80s in that second series. So I think this current run, I'm really missing Teenie Howard since the All-In change. And Tom King, the whole Rebirth, I read all 84 issues of Rebirth. And, she was featured in most of that, even though she didn't have her own run. She was only in the Batman comics. But that story compared with the Batman Catwoman story is just phenomenal to me. They were just, you got everything. You got everything that had been building since 1940 in those. So I really, it's hard for me to say one or the other because they're both just so powerful. Teenie and Tom King, Teenie Howard and Tom King for me. And then artist, I really like what Jenny Friesen's doing lately, but I think she does Poison Ivy better than Catwoman, even though I just love the way she draws a woman. I just think she draws a woman amazingly. I'm going to go with Joelle Jones. I really like her take on Catwoman. I like she gave her back a little bit of hair, you know, and she put her back in that purple outfit, but not quite as over the top as she was in it with Balance Catwoman. And I just like the way her pencils and her art kind of just speaks to me. So for me, I'm going to go with Joelle Jones for the artist.
It's a good choice. I met her at Baltimore last year, and she did a little head sketch on something I got signed for, so that was nice.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
Very cool.
I should have gone to Baltimore. Now I'm mad.
Always this year.
Yep. This year's coming up.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. I'm going to Awesome Com. I already got my pre-ordered my badges. I'm waiting for them to come in the mail. So.
Badges? You got your stinking badges?
I got my stinking badges.
Yeah.
But guys, I'm just so tickled that you had me on tonight. So it's awesome to talk about Selina.
It was a pleasure having you on.
Absolutely, it was a pleasure. All it took was for you to, do the hoodoo.
Yeah, voodoo on poor Jamie. He'll be all better tomorrow.
He'll be happy to hear that.
I hope so. I
hope you're better tomorrow.
Yeah, he's really feeling it. I can tell you that much.
Oh yeah, he's
poor guy.
Okay.
Yep. All right.
There you go.
Good. There you go, Adam.
Good.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I guess we can go ahead and put this one to bed and call it a night because we have had a nice long episode on Catwoman.
Yeah.
Thank you again, Liz, for joining us. Really appreciate you stepping in and
filling
that in. Bravo on your choices. Everybody had great choices and covers.
Everybody had great choices.
Yeah, this has been a very good episode for Catwoman. I think we got a lot of good detail on her. Everybody in the audience, thank you for participating and joining in. Really appreciate you guys.
Yes, everybody, thank you for your support and being so friendly.
Remember, make sure you click that like, share, and subscribe. Get us out there in that algorithm so we can get more people in here to see this good stuff that we're talking about.
Absolutely.
Yep.
All right.
Absolutely.
One last time, I'm your host, Sal the Slab Guy. Down below is the Ric Flair of comics.
Woo!
And over there in the corner is Dan the Kelly Art from Instagram. And, of course, our special guest star tonight, Liz.
Yay, Liz. You're rocking.
One of the best customers from Comic Logic. There we go.
Absolutely.
All right, ladies.
Love the team there.
Yep. We'll see you next week when we are covering Sabretooth, if I remember right.
Sabretooth.
Your pick.
That'll be a good one.
I forgot
Thanks,
it was my pick. Yep. Yes, Spooge. Thank you, buddy. All right, folks. I hope you all have a good night. Have a good weekend, and we'll see you next week.
Good night.